Hello everyone, welcome to Cyberscoop TV. Greg Otto, your managing editor here. We're here live on the floor of the 2017 RSA conference. I'm talking with Bill Connor, the president and CEO of SonicWall. Bill, thanks for joining us today.
Hey Greg, good to see you.
So there's been a lot of attacks in the past, I want to say 12 months, that SonicWall has been well positioned to defend against and give some intelligence on. Let's talk about the growth of ransomware.
You got it.
What you're seeing as far as what the marketplace is doing and what you're hearing from your customers as to how they are defending against the ransomware.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it. Our cyber threat report this year, a lot of good things that are going down. Ransomware is the runaway warhead.
Right.
It is. It's gone over the last 2 years. It's gone from 3.3 million attacks to 3.8 to 638 million attacks this last year.
Okay.
And the ramp rate of that is almost 250 million of those.
It's incredible.
Were in Q4. So if you're a small business, that's alarming.
Right.
Because you think of, you don't have a lot of people to defend like a lot of the big banks or enterprises do. It's you.
Right.
And while $20,000 or $20,000 in Bitcoins doesn't sound like a lot, it's a lot to a small business.
Right.
But your business, the remediation, if it happens, is $2.5 million on average.
Right.
And that's a really big number.
Right, absolutely.
So what our channels and our customers have been saying is like, please make sure we're the best. We trust you, we rely on you, rely on our partners, and fortunately we're all over it and have been stopping it. But what that led us to was a product we introduced called Capture.
Okay.
Because if you think about, even if 1% gets through on 638 million, that's an awful lot of people potentially getting hurt.
Absolutely.
And about 50% of small business actually ends up paying, which,
we don't want to do that. You don't want to lose that money.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So Capture is the next generation. Think of it as a networked sandbox in the cloud.
Okay.
It sounds complicated, but it works with your firewall.
Okay.
And basically, think of it as in medical terms, like I can look at my skin to see if I'm hurt. It can look at an X-ray and see if I'm hurt underneath.
Right.
And I can do a blood test. Capture uses 3 different engines, just like those 3 different things, to look at all malware at the same time. And in real time, assess with those 3 different techniques whether it's malware or not, and it will block it until it gets a verdict in near real time, in less than 2 or 3 seconds.
Great.
So that now is a different, it's kind of gone from fraud detection to fraud prevention, because now if you have our Capture product, once that's installed, anywhere else that it captures it real time, it's never caught again.
And your small and medium customers have got to be, over the moon for this, because like you said, whether it's paying the ransom off and having it not work, or having to deal with remediation costs that are exponentially higher, I mean, you're saving the business altogether.
Even more that, one of the small businesses, just bought our new email that we released this week.
Okay.
And was installed, and I'll talk about that. But he said, Bill, what Capture's given me is the ability to go to sleep. I set it up, and I now know I don't have to worry about that. I always felt good with your firewall. He had our email security capability as well. He just upgraded it to our new release on this one. He goes, because email is the second most effective way to get in if you're malware.
Right.
Whether it's on a file, a PDF, Adobe, whatever, right? Our new email comes 3 different ways though. A hardened appliance, which is what we normally have done. But we've offered 2 new options for our channels and our customers.
Okay.
One is on it's software for virtual machines. So if you're on VMware, it's software, you don't need to buy hardware. You just run it virtualized. Or we've got a cloud offering. So for our MSP channels, both of those 2 software or hosted options is in the way they want to do it. A lot of small business I don't want the hardware now. And some will always want it, but it gives you both ways to deal with that in terms of how you want to do it. And Capture's attached to that. So for small business now, I've got all our firewall and next generation firewall technology. We've got Capture that runs across all of it. We have email in 3 versions, and Capture runs across that.
Okay.
And then we've got a mobile platform
that
runs across your multiple devices, and stay tuned, more to follow on that one.
All right, we'll have to check back with you on that. So outside of that, Internet of Things, huge amount of IP connected devices coming online, and we've seen in the past couple months the Mirai botnet, DDoS attacks starting to ramp up. How is SonicWall helping their customers fight that off?
It was really interesting coming in November, right after that had hit, right? We're not in the consumer side, so we don't play with consumer IoT. But if you look at where that really is, or at least our clients are, a lot of clients have cameras.
Right.
A lot of them have internet devices connected, and so that's where we play. We're now looking at that traffic as it traverses into the firewalls, and are starting to profile that. And so the other way is people are now starting to use SSL to connect those devices finally back in. Just like one of the good things out of Threat Report is SSL usage went up 35-37% last year. And a large percentage of that was not the web growth, but was the growth in people putting SSL on cloud apps. So as businesses want to use hosted video surveillance or those kind of things, they use SSL. That is what our next generation firewalls are really great at. Unpacking that SSL, looking at the malware load. And today, the bad side of SSL, the bad guys figured out this past year that there are SSL certificates in the wild, so like 60 to 80%, some people 40 to 70, but depending on which report, over half is coming in with encrypted communications over SSL. So our ability to do deep packet inspection on SSL, unpack that, see if there's malware and stop it, is a real benefit these days.
So it sounds like the attackers are still waging that war, but you're trying to defend it.
It is a cyber war, and that's with our cyber report. We're trying to show point of sale dramatically reduced in the last 2 years. Is an example. 14 signatures in 14 when you're reading about the targets and all that. 9 and 15. We did 1 signature last year. So it's not gone away. It's still there. You still read about it. But the value of that credit card. I mean, the bad guys see that with signature and chip and signature going in. They see us capturing it. It's a much harder target now. So they're going for easy money. You see malware and ransomware going exponentially up.
All right. Bill, appreciate your insights. Thanks for taking some time to talk with us today.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
For all of our videos, check out our YouTube channel. And for more information on the RSA conference and all things cybersecurity, check out cyberscoop.com. I'm Greg Otto. Thanks for watching.